As the price of XRP, the asset, is poised for a breakout, things which should be kept in your mind is also increasing because these things need your attention. But many naysayers will try to play with your emotions and they all will say don't look at this asset because it's going to do nothing. And they all are going to push you towards an area where you won't digest the real information. Now, there are things and reasons why I invest in XRP, the promising reasons to invest in XRP. So, what really is happening around us, right? Let's go through recent documents and understand the importance of XRP in the new financial system. If it's boring, it's because it's filled with real information, and I'm sorry for that. But facts and real information, that is the reason why you come here in Scientific Investor channel. Welcome to the Scientific Investor family, where we discuss crypto and science behind investing regularly. If you saw value for your time, please do support the channel, hit that like and subscribe button. If you would like to support the channel more, you can use the PayPal, Patreon or the XRP wallet address given in the description below. Now let's dive into this information for the day. Before we actually jump into these promising reasons of why I invest in XRP, I would actually like to take you guys through different aspects which you should also remember with price, because the price fluctuation is what plays with your emotion, not the real fundamentals. But the real fundamentals which you can understand from these kind of documents are the reasons why you should be investing in such an asset. So first, let's look at the chart itself. It's easy to look at the chart on a shorter time frame and say it's going up or it's going down. But as we zoom out and look at the same on a longer time frame, you kind of get to see something similar before previous breakouts, and you can understand now. If you're looking here, you should be zooming in to see what really happened back then with the price, MACD and RSI, as I have to go through those documents today, which is going to be a little bit lengthy. I won't actually dive into that area, but if you look these, it really resonates with the history and breakouts for the price of XRP. And then you come in, zoom in a little bit to check what really is happening there. It's easy to understand that the price is respecting a particular resistance, horizontal resistance, and right now the price is also respecting a trend line support. So if we break out, we can easily take this bottom to the top and say, yes, we are going to go around 150%. But do understand that breakout and the test of that would be taking us into a new all-time highs, which is from a long time, because we've been in that area back in 2018, and after 2 years, if we are reaching that area, don't be still in a doubt about the new financial system and the bull market, because the new financial system will be tied up with this entire bull run. Why? Even the technical analyst say this guy has been negative for XRP in times, but this particular analyst states this time that Ethereum and XRP, among some other crypto assets, are ready for breakout, and that too a bullish breakout. So if you are looking at the price on a correct perspective, you should be understanding that. Now let's jump into these documents without any delay. So say this is the page number 5 of the document which I'm talking from, FSB, Financial Stability Board, in which they are primarily concentrating on the cross-border payments. So yes, we are going to jump into page number 5 here, and it talks about different stages of cross-border payment and what they are looking at. Now in this one, what you have to understand is building blocks, and it's towards July 20. Now in the same document, if you move, you will also understand they do talk about October 2020. So that's this month right now, right? So that's actually around page 30, I believe. I'll actually have to go through that again and read that for you guys. But do understand, they are all talking about this particular time frame, and that is here. We are there. Now, I'll just have to check that for you guys here. Yeah, October 2020 on page number 3. And they are talking about what? Delivering this cross-border payment arrangement by this time. So if it's due to the health crisis, there is a little bit of delay, we can understand, but it's still kind of at the end of that, right? That roadmap we are all talking about for the cross-border payments looks promising. Now, let's read through this one. See, this area shows different aspects, like what is the existing network and how it looks like. Okay, I'll actually zoom in so that you guys can read if you do want. Now, see, here they are talking to develop the report. Now, it's FSB formed a cross-border payment coordination with CPC, the chair of CPMI, and then you have to understand this guy, governor of Bank of Mexico. Now, if you do look at the cross-border payments market from Mexico, you can see right now the Mexican corridor from US is pushing a lot more volume through XRP. So they do understand that this is the future right now. If XRP Ledger is hosting 20% of their cross-border remittance, they do understand that while the corridors for this technology increases, the remittance volume is going to surge. So if you do understand that tie-up or that connection, it's going to be easy for you, because as you come to the bottom, they do talk about regulatory issues of stable coins group, correspondent banking network. We'll actually deal with that as we go down. So in this 6th page, it shows existing arrangement for cross-border payments. Now, it actually shows you what is happening right now, the status quo and how things are evolving. And then they talk about the trend in cross-border payments. So they kind of highlight you how this ratio year by year is increasing. Then they give you a reference that those references are really important, because the World Trade Organization, McKinsey reports, Bank of International Settlement report and all have already detailedly talked about Ripple and XRP for cross-border payments. And then you come into the suggestions for real cross-border payment system, which really seems so interesting. Now, the entire document seems a lot, but I'll take you guys through the important pages of this. Now, in the page number 8, when you look at this figure, you can see the value of cross-border payments, it's kind of increasing. But the volume of payment messages, it's skyrocketing. And at the same time, if you do notice, number of active correspondents are going down. So the correspondent banking networks, the chain, is kind of being reduced. And if you look at the corridor, it's also reducing. And that is the reason for this friction which is existing in the current payment system using correspondent banking chains. So they create a lot of friction. Now, it's not only me or Ripple saying the same, it's all guys who are dealing with the same. Because if you move into, say, page number 13, you can kind of see this easily, right? Say on page number 12, you actually see how the current payment infrastructure works and how money is transferred from one end to another. And the next one, when you come, they talk about different aspects, different chains, say the money transfer operators, how they use the e-money wallets, how it is getting popular, and other stuffs. And at the same time, in order to understand the friction and the issues of the current system, you really have to understand how the settlement mechanism works. Now, that is reliant on highlighting here. So if you generally look at multi-currency settlement systems, bilateral settlement arrangements, and every stuff connecting the correspondent banking, it really becomes clear that you need a platform where you can do all these kind of money transfer instantaneously without the frictions they are mentioning here. So in this one, again, they are coming back and talking about the Mexican corridor, where they highlight such as Fed Global Mexico Service, which enables US financial institutions to send automated Clearinghouse ACH, credit transaction to certain financial institutions in Mexico. So Mexico looks like they have advanced framework for cross-border payments. Now, when you jump into page number 16 of this, you kind of see what they are looking at. If they are looking to use intermediaries, what they are actually working on. Then what we just talked about is the frictions, right? So when you jump into that side, they shows the cost, speed, access, and transparency. So when you see this, now this can be kind of a little bit familiar for you guys, but these are the problem, the pain points, right? So what is the solution? How can XRP be involved in this? How can Ripple push something into this? That will be your question right now. Then I'll actually take you guys to this area. It is important to address these 4 challenges and how in the hell are they going to manage these risks. So I'll take you guys towards page number 29. Now there are a lot of other information in the same file, but I'll actually take you guys through here. Domestic settlement focused. Central banks are primarily have created a payment system which is more for their domestic infrastructure. It's not actually created for cross-border settlements, right? So do understand, the current settlement system existing is for domestic participants, right? Now they need an infrastructure for cross-border payments. So they are also working on that one. So what it actually comes with, it should be coming with interoperability layers. Why? Different countries are now looking at central bank digital currency and organizations are looking at their own tokens. Now these has to be interoperable. Say if a company, JP Morgan, is going to send money abroad and they use their token, they should be transferring that first towards their digital fiat, say in that case digital dollar, and then it should move towards another digital fiat, say for example Mexico or India, rupees or pesos in digital form, and from there it should go back towards new organization which uses that, right? So the interoperability standard they are highlighting is ISO 20022, and you already know that Ripple is one of the primary guys who have dealt with that in the DLT area. Now, as you move through this document, you kind of get to see what is improving. Right now, majority of the institutions are on the SWIFT network and they are looking at a catalyst to push this one, and that's kind of new open banking, new APIs, new standards, which is being recognized as of now. So if you actually jump back, say into page number 16, and then look at underlying legal regulatory framework which we came through, you have to understand this. Now they are talking about processing, clearing, settling cross-border payments, and let it be peer-to-peer, business-to-business, government-to-business, and other payments. But all of these are kind of looking at one area, which is the cross-border payments involving high risk. So they are talking about de-risking, and if they are de-risking, you know, so that is one of the reasons why the correspondent banking networks are actually going down. So if you come to page number 32 to talk about that, they are talking about the level playing field. And who's providing the level playing field there? Look at that. How can authorities share experience in facilitating fintech development while maintaining a sound financial system and a level playing field? So they are going to use financial technology, the fintechs, to provide these opportunity to create those technical framework to solve all these issues which they have highlighted: the cost, the speed, the transparency. So everything is kind of a bit clear there. Then you jump onto page number 33, which is an annex there. Okay, so trusted ledger arrangements for payment agreements. Now this really gets interesting here if you read through this clearly. Now it is possible to classify these arrangements. Now I'll talk through this, but just to highlight, they talk about multi-sided trusted ledger managed by a third party. So it can be RippleNet directly. Okay, for right now you're not using digital asset. Okay, but what you need there, you need the settlement in that ledger. So one-sided trusted ledger which the settlement ledger is managed by one. And that's not going to work in the future because it should be open, directly accessible, shared ledger in with both pay and pay trust and can directly instruct their payments. So that really looks like an open source protocol similar to XRP ledger using XRP for settlements. Now, if you read through them to understand what it really means, you kind of get to understand, like, one hand you have Swift and their ledger, and on the other hand you do have XRP and their settlement process, and then you understand how it's going to evolve. Now, to understand the same stuff, I would take you guys through this document because it kind of gives you a bit more clarity of some of the items if you have confusion in that area. So this kind of shows you the distributed ledger technology is being used by the institutional players to solve this issue. Now, if you go through the entire document, you're going to get different aspects of payment and how Swift is involved in that. And then you come to this area where they talk, for this enclosed distributed ledger ecosystem to work, a vehicle is required to transfer fund between accounts. So one of the name for XRP given by the Ripple executives is the vehicle currency or a bridge currency, right? So a scenario where institutions consistently agree upon conversion rates for each trade value would slow transaction down considerably. Instead, the institutions could utilize a stable coin of choice such as Ripple XRP. Now they are mentioning stable coin. Why? Because we already went through that. They understand. Now their definition for stable coin is a bit different. It's stable in price fluctuation compared to other assets for their transaction. Now why is that? Because if you use Ethereum or BTC or any other so-called payment mechanism, it would take a long time frame, and in that longer time frame the volatility would be huge. Whereas if you are looking at XRP ledger, the transaction varies from 3 to 5 seconds, and the volatility in that 3 to 5 seconds is much lower, so you can consider like you're using a stable coin. That is what they are meaning there. Now as you continue, or one of the other developed by any consortium. According to Ripple, the cross-border transaction using its system takes under 7 seconds to occur. Now, if you look right now in their website, it's 3 to 5 seconds. So that is cool. Even though the network would be getting congested in future, it won't be a huge issue. Now, all of these regulatory issues highlighted here is already understood and considered there by Ripple, and they are using that to solve these challenges for settling these payments. Okay, now if we actually move to page number 6, they kind of highlights again, outside of the JPM coin, which they have developed, and they are looking at this, and Santander Bank announced 2019 they would underpin the FX international payments platform by RippleNet. Now they have not started using the digital assets for this payment. Why? The regulatory clarity still doesn't exist. But what we are looking at is the new payment infrastructure, the smarter payments. So all of them do talk about, Ripple, XRP, how you can use this technology, this particular item for your payment. So say in this document, I would actually take you guys to page number 13 directly. And related to blockchain and cryptocurrency development, now you see SIA and Quant partnerships for interoperability, but do understand it's also interoperable with Ripple. Another of Quant's blockchain-based systems, Atlas, currently supports Hyperledger, Coda, Ethereum, and Ripple. Why? Because if they are there for interoperability, then they should be looking at RippleNet, which is currently, having those kind of reach towards IMF, BIS, and other huge central banks around the world. Then interconnecting these would be one of the main challenges for others. But for these two, Quant and Ripple, with Overledger and Interledger, they're going to solve that. So domestic issue will be solved using different blockchain networks. It can be Quant, it can be any other. But the international, the cross-border, would be moving much more into using a vehicle currency or the bridge asset like XRP. Now, to get a wider detail about this, the explanations given by Marcus in these two documents are really important. This is available to read in Ripple Insights, why real-time cross-border payments are poised to break through. Now, this is a recent document, not an old one. And similarly, the role of blockchain and digital assets in cross-border payments. So first you get to understand cross-border payments are going to increase huge in their value. So the fluctuation in their value would be so huge, it can't be neglected. And at the same time, the financial system is changing. So these payments would be executed using a digital asset. So that really gets interesting there. Now let's look at other aspects, right? The general aspects of what is going on. They talk about financial inclusion, right? They talk about how things are going to change in this decade. Everything has to be touched by payments. You do a job, you're going to pay with something. You buy something, you're going to pay with something. You send money to your loved one, you're going to use a remittance platform. So everything actually touches money. And money in the new age really looks like digital assets, right? And if you are just looking at the so-called stable coins, which is backed by the fiat currencies, you may not be in the right place, because anyway, those are stable. You're not investing for them. If you are investing, then you should be investing in assets which can have impulsive moves like these. Huge impulsive move. Now, if you are an investor, you would be looking into an asset to know its trend, right? So the trend is shown by the impulsive move, and the opportunities are shown by the corrective moves, right? Which gives patterns, which shows it is moving between parallel lines, and it gives you patterns, and you can understand easily that right now is the time for that opportunity. If you want to seize that opportunity, open your eyes and look and trade. Now, that's not a financial advice, actually. That's what I do. That's my experience, which I'm sharing with you guys. So guys, that's all for today. And if you saw value for your time, please do support the channel. Hit that like and subscribe button. If you would like to extend your support, open your heart and look at PayPal, Patreon and XRP wallet address given in the description below. Patreon, do understand, it will allow you to gain more value for your portfolio. You can discuss in person, you can talk in person, you can ask any doubt, and then you can get standard charts, setups for different assets which you have in your portfolio. So guys, that's all, and I'll meet you guys on the next video. Bye for now.